Some of the world's biggest authors are joining forces and donating money to fight book bans across the country. A group of 23 authors, in fact, including Judy Blume and James Patterson, have donated more than $3.6 million to PEN America, a nonprofit organization devoted to protecting free expression. PEN America says there were more than 3,300 book ban attempts in K-12 schools last year, with more than 1,500 titles being removed. However, the founders of one of the groups spearheading those efforts told NewsNation's Chris Cuomo they aren't trying to ban books per se, but shield their children from adult material.
And so we're not advocating for banning anything. What we're talking about is curating content in a library. You wouldn't have the same books in a medical college that you would in a seminary, and just because a book is printed doesn't mean that it belongs in a children's library.
So the problem with the books that our chapters across the country have concerns with, Chris, is that they are obscene. They are obscene and they are pornographic. This has nothing to do with if it's male and male, female and female, or male and female. They are obscene and they are pornographic.
This debate is happening in the midst of Banned Book Week. It's an annual event from the American Library Association that celebrates reading and draws attention to the potential harm of censorship. Here to talk more about it, Deborah Caldwell-Stone, director of the American Library Association, Office for Intellectual Freedom, and executive director of the Freedom to Read Foundation. Deborah, thank you for being with us this morning. Some will argue that the First Amendment does not protect all forms of speech, obscenity for one, child pornography another. Thus, in some cases, a book ban could still be consistent with the First Amendment. Is a book ban justified in cases like those?
Well, I would tell you that nothing collected by a library begins to meet any kind of legal test for obscenity. Librarians take their responsibilities to their communities very seriously, and they curate collection that meets the information needs of their communities. And just because a book deals with a controversial topic, deals with health or reproductive issues, doesn't make it obscene, although not everyone would agree that that's the right book for their child. But there are parents, there are children, young adults who want and need that information and thus are seeking to read those books in the library. And because it is a public library, they deserve to find the information they want and need in the library as much as anyone else. It is really a false narrative to claim that books like that deal with sex education, for example, are obscene. It's just inaccurate.
What, in your mind, are the largest motivating factors behind book bans that we're seeing right now?
I would say that there are individuals who believe that libraries should only present books that they agree with and are asking libraries to remove books they don't want to see on the shelf. But also, you have to, there's always been disagreement about what books belong in a library, but libraries are community institutions. They're a place for everyone to come to find the information they need. They are a shared resource. And we need to defend not only libraries as that resource that will help us, educate ourselves, run our businesses, educate our children, but also a place for the First Amendment. The First Amendment freedoms, we shouldn't surrender them so easily. The freedom to read is something that's very rare and precious in the world today, and we're one of the few countries that protect it, and we need to fiercely defend it. And this week is all about remembering that and defending the freedom to read.
Finally, we showed a number on the screen a moment ago. Book bans more prevalent in Florida than many other states. Why do you think that is, and is that a sign of a fight that still lies ahead for other states?
Well, I would tell you that we're, in our data that we collect here at ALA from librarians in the field and across the country, is that it's not limited to any one state. It is in every community, every state. They're facing these challenges. Library politics are local politics, and so we're seeing it in communities across the country. I think everyone needs to be prepared to engage at the local level with their boards and make sure that the boards are protecting the First Amendment right to read and protecting everyone's access to find the books and information they need in the library.
Appreciate your time on this, Deborah Caldwell-Stone. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.